you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is your future is none of your business. That's an interesting thought, and we're going to explore that idea. But before we get started, let's take a minute or two to get present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, your molecules, your electrons, creating a brilliant beam of light and energy from your heart out into the world. And as you exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's press our palms together. Vigorously rub your palms together and feel the friction, the temperature, the pressure, the motion, the tickling and tingling when you stop. And allow all those sensations to bring you present right here, right now, into this remarkable physical form that enables us to experience life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning, Rosalind. So good to have you here with us this morning. And welcome to everybody else who's joining us. Today, we're talking about your future is none of your business. So, I think we spend so much time and energy worrying about our future and what it's going to look like and how it's going to unfold. And what if this or what if that? And it becomes an obsession for worry for so many people. So Rosalind's laughing. It's true, right? We worry about all kinds of things that we really take our concerns and our worries and our past and we put them in front of us, and then we project our future through that. It was very interesting. I was talking to a client who has a financial situation that's limiting them in the moment, and they were projecting the rest of their lives through that lens of limitation and trying to make plans around that limitation. I said, you don't know. You don't know what your future is going to bring. In any given moment, something can occur that was completely unpredicted. You could be having somebody show up and saying, hey, I need you to do consulting for me, just kind of out of the blue. And why not be putting your intention and your energy in that direction instead of in the direction of lack and scarcity and continuing this pattern that is one of constriction. You're putting all this energy into the belief about that, and essentially creating the field for you to then move into, defined by that limitation. And so when I say, I also spoke to another client about this, which is the first time I heard it come out of my mouth, which was interesting, was when they were thinking about, oh my gosh, am I gonna spend my life alone? And again, projecting into the future a current concern or fear. And what I think comes out of this, your future is none of your business idea, is that our future's unfolding. We can have intention, and I think it's great to have an intention to hold, that that you can then step into. Um, and what happens is, from those intentions, we get a momentum, we get rolling, and then kind of life takes us, right? Life then gets to direct us, or shape us and mold us. And the fact that we get ourselves moving, we get over the inertia, so that then life can unfold for us and guide us. I mean, how many, I think all of us have experienced a time in our lives where, we're going in one direction, and all of a sudden something happens that wouldn't have happened if we hadn't been going in that direction. And all of a sudden we get a left turn or a right turn, or, like a shift from the direction that we thought we were going. And the other thing is that when we have an intention, it's very interesting how just holding that intention without trying to force it to happen, without trying to engineer things in a particular way, the universe aligns with us. When we have a sense of mission and purpose, the universe ends up making things happen in magnificent ways that we would never anticipate. And particularly when we listen, and when we listen to the the promptings of our soul, when we listen to the whispers. So for example, maybe you have, all of a sudden, you have a need or a desire, let's say, to go to Starbucks, and maybe you never go to Starbucks, but all of a sudden, out of the blue, it's like, I gotta go to Starbucks. And you think it's to get a cup of coffee or something, and it turns out that you meet somebody at Starbucks, or you see something on the way that you never saw before, but that's particularly relevant for something that you're up to, or an intention that you have. And so these are things, when I say your future's none of your business, there are two things that we're talking about. One is allowing yourself to be present and not living into this projected fantasy of what your future is. And the other is holding an intention and living life, like really being present to life now. Because it's in this moment that the past and the future reside also. And so in this moment, when we're really present to it, we can be receptive to the callings, calling forward, calling us into life, that then is the fulfillment, or the greater fulfillment, of our essential being. So I was speaking with a client yesterday. It was really, really beautiful how they were saying that they have motivation in life now. They have a desire to be doing these things that are in alignment with themselves. And not only that, but they had this wonderful sense of presence and appreciation, a sense of presence for even the chair they were sitting in, and the fact that it was comfortable and that it was supporting them, and being able to look out the window and see the magnificent colors of fall, and to be really savoring and relishing. And in this presence of savoring and relishing, they were able to just be deeply, deeply appreciative and present to how the timing of things was unfolding perfectly, and just having a deep sense of grace and appreciation and enjoyment. And really being in life, really living life, because it is in the moment, it is in the moment when we really experience life. The projections about the future, the projections from the past, the carrying over of our identities, all of that is keeping us from the grace of this particular moment. And so we get to source that grace. It comes from within us. It comes from our presence. It comes from our willingness to be in this moment and experience it. And this focus on the future takes us out of the experience of life. And it is in the experience of life that we then have the ability to be responsive to life, to listen to life, to drink it in, to be this unbridled expression that is unique to each of us. And so the invitation is to be present, and how our lives unfold. We can, like I said, we can have an intention, and that intention can act as a greater sort of container or context for us to be unfolding into. And how that manifests, how that occurs, is something that the universe will engineer for us in a way that is so much more elegant than we might be able to do for ourselves. And we can see these indicators when we recognize synchronicities, when we allow ourselves to notice the perfection of timing, when we allow ourselves to notice what's present, without all the overlays of our stories of the past and the future. Like right here in this moment, for the most part, even if we're experiencing pain, for the most part, in this moment, we can recognize that we're okay. And there are exceptional moments where that may not be the case, and I recognize that. But in this moment, for the most part, not only are we okay, but we're often like really good. And what takes us out of being really good is all the concerns, all the fears that we pull from the past that we project into the future. And taking ourselves back to the breath, taking ourselves back to really right here, right now, without all these constructs around fear and lack and all of that in this moment. Mostly, we're actually really okay. And so I'm not saying not to be alert to providing for ourselves and taking appropriate action. When we're really present, we have the ability to be responsive and take appropriate action, but without the fear, without the anxiety, without the resistance. Good morning, Sue. It's so good to have you here with us this morning. Welcome. So, we're talking about your future's none of your business. It's going to unfold the way it unfolds. And it doesn't mean not to have intentions. And I like the notion of intentions more than I like goals, because goals are time delimited typically, right? And we often have very specific ideas about how that is going to look, how a goal is going to manifest, whereas an intention allows, at least in my lexicon, it allows for adaptation. It allows for flexibility. It allows the ability to recommit to an intention. And I guess the bottom line is that whatever we can do to presence ourselves to life, really living life, more and more I'm inclined to believe that that's what this is all about. It's not about winning. It's not about how much we can accumulate. It's not about how much we do. It's actually about the experience of life. We've been enculturated. We were talking about spells the other day. We've been enchanted to believe, or beguiled to believe, that it's all about what we do and the impact, even the impact that we make. The difference, making a difference. But making a difference is relative too, right? What does that mean? I'm inclined to believe more and more that just really living life, drinking it in, savoring it, appreciating it, honoring it, being present to it, that may be the highest purpose we can serve. And all the doingness, it can be really fun, it can be inspiring, it can be keeps us engaged and curious and vital and energized and all of that. That's all wonderful. But if we're doing that rather than being that, if it feeds the doing, I'm sorry, if it feeds the being, great, great. But if it becomes about a doing that is separating us from the actual experience of being present to life, then maybe whatever that impact is not as important as we thought it was. that that maybe just by really truly being, by really living life, being present to it, maybe that's the greatest contribution we can make in a grander scale. I don't know, just play with that idea. I invite you to play with that idea. And like I tend to think that we're here as a grand adventure. And if all the other stuff, the impacting people and kind of the 3D, I guess what we're talking about is 3D versus 5D maybe. But I'm not saying it's not great to be doing things that impact the environment in a positive way, other people in a positive way, nature, life. But if we're doing that at the expense of really experiencing and cherishing life, what's the value of it? And I think that we tend to silo the way that we interpret value. Like so much of the way that we interpret value is based on the human world as separate and distinct from the natural world. And looking at how we can further technology and how we can help people in need who aren't don't have enough to eat or are endangered. And I'm not saying in any way that's a negative thing, it's a wonderful thing. And if it's keeping us from an experience of life itself overall, like really living life, present to life, I think we get to look at the impact again. Again, the foundation of what we're talking about is going from human doing to human being. And I guess really the point is that we're all part of this field of consciousness, at least in my universe, and you can try it on, see if that resonates for you. And that we're all impacting that field by our beingness, not our doingness. And so whatever we're doing in the course of the grander scheme of things, what if it's not as important as our being, as the way we're being? And what if we were to give ourselves freedom to really be and to really live and to really cherish that living? That's what's going to change the doing. That's what's going to transform the things that are our great concerns right now, is this shift, this foundational shift of being. And then the doing will change. And the circumstances of life will change as we shift our beingness and our presence to life and our appreciation for it. That foundational shift will change the field, and that will necessarily change the way we do things. So try it on, see how it feels to you. And that's it for today. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I go live here each weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page and YouTube channel. And I invite you to please like, follow, and share. Enlightened World Network and me. The links are in the description. And as always, it's a gift and a privilege to be able to spend this time together musing about what it is to be human. And so until next time, so much love to you.